What's going on, everybody? Dylan here, and today we are going to take a look at the Razer Naga. So this is an MMO mouse. I picked this up on Amazon a little while ago, about a week ago I think, for about 50 bucks, and I bought it for video editing and a few other things because it was the only mouse that I could find that had all the customizable buttons on the sides that did work for a Mac. I picked up the Red Dragon Perdition prior to this, and it was a no-go. It didn't work at all. So, grabbed this, did not know if it was going to work. It did work, and now we're going to check it out. So, to start, like I said, this is an MMO mouse. Now, the reason that they call it an MMO mouse is because with the Razer Naga Synapse that you get, which is the software on your actual computer, you can program every single button to do something. So if you are a World of Warcrafter, you can program individual spells into every button. You can program, honestly, pretty much everything. I'll cut in a few videos of the actual Synapse program, but you can cut in pretty much anything on any of these buttons. Now, it comes with 12 buttons on the side, 21 buttons altogether. If you count the scroll click, the scroll wheel is counted as a button forward and backwards. It also has a left and right, which is super handy. I didn't think it would be, but it really, really was, especially in web browsers. Just use it as a back and forth. So 12 buttons on the side, 9 buttons on the top. So like I said, you can customize everything into this. You can put macros in here. You can put keyboard shortcuts. You can launch programs. For instance, in my Google Chrome browser, I have the 7 through 12 buttons on the side programmed to launch my favorite websites, the left and right click, forward and backward, and I have 3 as my calculator. So that launches my calculator right away, which is actually super handy because I use my calculator all the time. And then the natural scroll, this button right here actually is my reload button so that I can quickly reload. The scroll wheel, click, closes a tab for me. So that's pretty much what I've done with it so far in Chrome. Super handy, saves me a ton of time. It does take a little bit of getting used to. Sometimes I have number 1 or number 2 as shift or command. So I have to hold those while pressing other buttons, and it's kind of weird to get used to. But you do get used to it, and once you do, it's super handy. So to go over the actual unit, it is a hefty unit. It's a big mouse. I will show you some comparisons of it to the Magic Mouse, which is what I was using prior to this. I actually have 2 of them, one for travel, one for home. I doubt that I will use the Magic Mouse at all anymore, maybe for travel because I don't want to carry a wired mouse with me. But this thing is an absolute monster when compared to the Magic Mouse. It is very ergonomic, but it takes up your entire hand, where anybody that's used the Magic Mouse knows, it's not ergonomic at all. It's kind of counterintuitive, but it works because of all the functions built into it. Whereas this it's a full palm mouse. The only complaint that I have about that is that it's kind of difficult to pick up. So if you're working on a mouse pad or a mouse area that's rather small, this may not be the mouse for you, because if you're going to mouse left to right and you have to pick it up over and over again, it's kind of difficult to grab onto just because of the shape. It doesn't have any weights or anything in it, which is nice, so it doesn't get weighted down. But if you do use a small area, or let's say a laptop, something like that, then this is probably not the mouse for you. If I flip it over, you can see we have the optical sensor here. We have the Teflon feet. The optical sensor ranges from 100 to, I believe, 8400 dpi with an acceleration speed of just 1 to 10. You can choose how fast you want it to go. Now, I keep my DPI at about 4000. I don't go crazy with it because I'm not gaming, so I don't really need super, super fast movement on my mouse. I keep it at about 4000, and I keep my acceleration at 6. And it took some getting used to. It was a huge difference from the Magic Mouse, but after a day or so, you do get pretty used to it. It's just second nature at that point. The thing that I love about this is with the Synapse program, I can customize as many profiles as I want. So each profile I can hook to a different program. So if you have a World of Warcraft profile, you can do that. If you have a Half-Life profile, you can do that. If you have a Grand Theft Auto profile, you can do that. If you're a video editor and you want a custom profile for Final Cut Pro, you can do that, and that's what I have. So I have a Final Cut Pro profile, I have a general profile, which is just when I'm on my desktop, and then I have a Google Chrome profile. And for me right now, that's enough. I don't need to customize it past that, but the fact that I can, and that I can have unlimited profiles, and I can have a custom set of buttons for absolutely any program that I use is huge for me. Now, that being said, if I were to have more than, let's say, 3, maybe 5 profiles, I'd probably forget all of my buttons. I wouldn't remember the buttons from profile to profile, program to program. So I have 3. They serve me well. It does everything that I need it to do, Google Chrome, Final Cut Pro, and then on my desktop. So the ability to do that, the ability to jump into Warcraft, let's say, add all of my spells or what have you to my side buttons here is just huge. It's massive, especially because it is an MMO mouse. So for that crowd, it's going to be fantastic. Now, the 4G laser sensor down here, it tracks very well. It tracks to the pixel, but it will not track on glass. If you have a glass desk, it will not track on that. It'll track on absolutely anything else except glass. If you have a glass desk, you can do one of 2 things. Either pick up a Razer mouse, or I've heard of people actually using window tint. Not that you're going to have window tint just lying around the house, but I have heard of people using window tint and putting it on the underside of the glass, and that will reflect the laser back accurately enough that this is going to be a usable mouse for you. So just a couple cons on this thing. The scroll wheel is a little slow, especially coming from the Magic Mouse where I can just flick and I can fly up a page. So it won't roll by itself or anything. So if I flick it and it stops there. Or if I stop touching it, it stops. Whereas the Magic Mouse, I flick it and it kind of rolls until it's done. So if you're on a large page, if you're looking at search results, if you're trying to pan through video, not going to be good. Which is why I have Shift and Control on my side buttons in my Final Cut profile so that I can hold those buttons and just slide through. Only other con that I have is the shape of it. I like the shape from an ergonomic perspective, but from a functionality and a pick up and move perspective or a laptop perspective, it's just not there. But if you're not using it, if you're just using it on a desktop and you have more than, let's say, a 6x6 space for your mouse, then it's going to be perfect for you. All in all, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I would probably rate it a 9 out of 10. The only point that is more important to me is the scroll wheel, and I can get by with that. Rated a 9 out of 10. I'll have a link in the description, so check that out if you want to take a look at this. I do recommend it over the Red Dragon Perdition, as the Red Dragon Perdition does not work at all on Macs, and you cannot customize anything on it. Thanks so much for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Please hit that like button down below. It helps a ton. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you use the Razer Naga, or if you use the Red Dragon Perdition, or if you're stuck on the Magic Mouse. Let me know what you think and how you set up your profiles, what you find it the most useful for. So again, thanks so much for checking out the video, and I will see you guys next time.